25th century AD. We sat there and looked at the rockets on Mars, and it just boggled the mind. And the technology caught up to them.
Alrighty, and welcome everybody. We are T-minus 3 minutes 30 seconds to the launch of Starlink. Which mission is this? I keep losing track of these. There's so many of them. Starlink Group 1036 launching from SLC-40, in Cape Canaveral Space Force Station. We just saw the last launch from this site about a week ago for Crew 12. It was last Friday we saw a launch from this launch site. And we are launching from here again. It is crazy how fast SpaceX is turning these rockets around and launching, which this is not the same rocket that launched the Crew 12 mission, obviously. It's not the same Falcon 9 booster, but it's just crazy how many boosters they've got in their arsenal. And they just keep stacking them up, keep taking them out to the pad, launching them over and over again. So this is a very special mission, though, for Starlink. I mean, I know you can only get so special with a Starlink mission as often as these happen. I was talking about this last time we did a live stream for Starlink. These things launch so frequently, they get kind of boring to watch them now, but this specific launch is a very interesting, a very special one, because this will be the second time Falcon 9 will be landing off the coast of the Bahamas. So they've done it once before, and I forget what had happened. Something had happened that caused them to kind of stop their launches out that way, and they finally got their clearance again to start launching out towards the Bahamas again. So tonight we'll see the second ever landing on a drone ship just off the coast of the Bahamas for this Starlink mission. So that'll be pretty exciting to see. If there's anyone that happens to be watching this stream from the Bahamas, you guys might hear a sonic boom. You might see the booster light up when it's coming back down. I'm not sure how far off the coast this thing is really from the Bahamas, but there's a chance you might hear a sonic boom as the booster comes back in, so definitely keep your ears open for that. I'm not sure how visible it will be, though, is the only thing. We're coming in to the T-minus 1 minute 30 second mark. I need to... Let's check out the chat here, see what we've got going on. Oh, that is just great. Let's see here. My chat doesn't seem to be working right now. I can't see it. Give me just a second as I get through here. Make sure my volume's off so I don't have... Alright, here we go. Checking out the chat.
LD, go for launch.
Does not look like there's a whole lot of stuff going on in the chat right now. If anybody has any questions about this specific launch, which I know it's a Starlink mission, but if you have any questions about the Falcon 9, you can ask them in the chat, and I will try my best to answer them. We're coming in just under the T-minus 20 second marker, getting ready to see this thing go any second now.
15 seconds. T-minus 10, 9, 8, 7.
All right, here we go. T-minus 6 seconds.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Ignition and liftoff.
And there we go. Engine ignition and liftoff of Falcon 9 heading downrange towards the Bahamas for the Starlink Group 1036 mission.
Vehicle is pitching downrange.
I see some people in the chat asking, what is the goal for this launch? This specific launch, there's nothing special. I mean, I think every rocket launch is special, but this one, we see a lot of them. This is a Starlink mission for the Starlink internet service that I'm sure a lot of you have heard about. It's probably the only reliable satellite internet service that's out there right now. I know there's a lot of people that provide satellite internet, but Starlink is by far one of the fastest and most reliable out there on the market right now. And so that is the goal. They're going to be deploying, I believe it is about 25 of these. Let's look here. 29 of the Starlink Mini V2 satellites into orbit. And these are, since they're launching from Cape Canaveral, they are going to a low Earth orbit for this specific launch. No polar orbits or sun-synchronous orbits, anything like that. Just a casual low Earth orbit mission for this launch.
Max Q.
People asking if they can see it from where they're at. Connecticut, Oklahoma, Texas, Arizona. Unfortunately, you guys will not be able to see this launch due to the direction it is flying in. It's taking more of a southeast approach down towards the Bahamas, down towards those islands there off the coast of Florida. And so unfortunately, anyone that is in the western U.S. is not going to be able to see this, or the northern U.S., they probably won't see it. People that are in, say, probably Georgia, South Carolina, you might be able to see it low on the horizon once it gets up to a certain altitude, but obviously it's all dependent on weather and certain stuff like that. Will they land the first stage? Yes, this first stage is going to be landing. It'll be landing off the coast of the Bahamas. I'll throw up our split screen here. Like I was saying earlier, this will be the second ever time Falcon 9 has landed off the coast of the Bahamas. Their first time was sometime last year. I can't remember the exact date or which mission. It was a Starlink mission, I'm pretty sure, that they launched. I could be wrong about that too, though. But it was last year they launched their mission, their first ever mission that landed off the coast of the Bahamas. If there's anyone watching right now that is in the Bahamas, you might be able to hear a sonic boom. You might see it when it's coming back down towards the drone ship. Not 100% sure like how visible or it will be, but there is a chance you might hear a sonic boom. So if anything, definitely keep your ears open for this. Just a moment ago, we had stage separation and second engine startup, second stage engine startup. Sorry, man. But we've got the second stage going, pushing itself the rest of the way into orbit, and those grid fins are deploying on the Falcon 9 booster, coming back down for its landing. I forgot to mention it, but this specific booster is booster 1077, coming back down for its 16th time. So this booster has flown 16 times, and it's going to be trying to land for the 16th time now as well, just off the coast of Bahamas, like I was saying. See a lot of people in the chat asking how fast can it go. The booster itself reaches that top speed of around 7,400 kilometers an hour. I forget what the conversion is into miles per hour there, but kilometers an hour, which is kind of the universal measurement. Like there's more people that use kilometers than miles per hour, so it's about 7,400 kilometers an hour is the top speed for the booster at stage separation before it starts coming back down to the Earth. And that second stage, before it deploys the satellites, will top out at around 17, or I think it's 17,000 miles per hour, but it's around 24,000 kilometers an hour, I believe, is the orbital velocity for the second stage in kilometers. And so you'll see that second stage hit the 24,000 marker before it shuts down and gets itself into a stable orbit. How long would this rocket How long would this rocket take to get to the Bahamas? This rocket is, it's coming down right now, so it's almost there to the Bahamas. Entry burn startup is here in probably the next minute or so, and it's gonna, after that entry burn happens, it's gonna start coming down really fast. So it's technically already there if you're looking for it. If you look up to the sky, you might see it once the entry startup begins. You'll see a orange glow appear in the sky. You're not gonna be able to see the booster very clearly. You're not gonna be able to see a defined shape or anything like that because of how far away it'll be, but you'll definitely see it light up when those engines come on if it's visible. Now this entry burn is obviously to just slow it down as it re-enters the atmosphere, because if this booster comes in too fast, it can get too hot and it can damage the booster from heat as it re-enters because of how fast it's coming in, or just the sheer forces alone from the speed it's coming back into the atmosphere could cause the booster to break up. It's only designed to handle speeds so fast, and so if it undergoes too much aerodynamic stress, it could cause a lot of damage to the booster, and that would cause a failure of this booster for its landing attempt. Will we see it in Florida? So if you were outside about 5 minutes ago, I would have said yes. You might still see it low on the horizon off of the east coast of Florida, but it's pretty much downrange now, so you may not see it very clearly anymore.
Stage 1 entry burn startup.
How accurate is the landing? Well, you're going to find out here in a couple minutes. I'd say probably about a minute or two from now, but when it begins its landing burn. Accuracy for the landing of this booster, they've got it pretty nailed down. SpaceX does. It's honestly insane even now, like as many times as SpaceX has done it, it's insane to see how accurately they're landing the booster. They're on this so they're landed on a barge out in the middle of the ocean. The barge itself is about the size of a football field, I believe. And so you're taking this booster, which is, I want to say it's a 10-story tall. Like if you're thinking of like a 10-story building, it's about 10 stories tall. I think the height is 70 meters is the height of the booster. That might be the whole rocket stack in total. I'm not 100% sure. I can't remember the total height of the booster, but it's a very tall rocket, very tall, skinny rocket, and they're bringing this thing back down to within the size, within the scale of a football field, and landing it within the center of that. And they've gotten it so accurate that they're pretty much hitting the bullseye right smack dab in the middle of this barge. I would pull up the picture again of the booster landed, because I pulled up that Twitter feed a minute ago showing it actually showed it landed on the drone ship. But we're about to see landing burn here, so you guys will get to see it here. And then, since it's dark and you may not see it very clearly, I can pull up the picture again after we see the booster land. People are from Florida watching are saying that they saw it from West Palm Beach, and some of them are saying they saw it from the west coast of Florida. Definitely possible to see it. Florida is such a skinny state, it's probably not hard to see the Falcon 9 from a distance after a certain time period, after it gets so far into flight. Especially if you're from an elevated height. You talk about being from a third floor. And here it comes down to the drone ship. And just like that, right on the bullseye, smack dab in the center of that drone ship, as I was saying, extremely precise. The precision is actually unreal, seeing how precise that landing is. And I will pull up that Twitter feed just because that was dark. I'll give you a daylight view of this booster landed on there. They're getting ready to end the SpaceX stream here anyways, so this is a view of it from its previous landing at the Bahamas, its first ever landing. They're coming home from the Bahamas. It's not smack dab in the center of the ship here for this specific one, but you can see how accurate, how close to the center it got after its landing attempt there, from their first landing attempt there off the coast of the Bahamas. I think there are some people that are actually from the Bahamas saying that they heard the sonic boom 1 minute ago. So yeah, I mean, our stream watching the SpaceX feed is a little bit delayed for us, so I'm sure the rocket, there's a lot of stuff that has happened already, like as we're seeing it, so just because of the delay in the stream. And so a lot of people are probably seeing it before I even got to see it myself. Someone in the chat says, as real as Katy Perry in space. Yeah, they were both of these were very real. Katy Perry actually went to space, and this booster actually just landed itself. You saw it there. And you can see it for yourself, too, if you go to Florida. So if you want to go to Florida and watch a launch for yourself, you can definitely go see that with your own eyes. But with that, I'm going to bring this stream to a close. The SpaceX feed has officially ended. For those of you, if you wanted to see the payload deploy, unfortunately, these Starlink missions happen so frequently now that SpaceX does not stream the full duration of the missions anymore. They used to do that, and then these Starlink missions became so frequent that it kind of got boring. So they only show the liftoff and then down to the booster touchdown, because that's really the only reason people watch the rocket launch anyways, is for people to see the rocket land itself. And so they don't show payload deployment anymore, unfortunately, but if you follow SpaceX's social media feeds, you'll see them make an announcement when payload deployment has been confirmed. So with that, we are going to close this off. I appreciate everyone who joined and watched the stream today, and we'll see you all next time for another live rocket launch. See you all next time.